Hello, I would like to welcome you to today's webinar on the SMB 150 for 2013. We're very excited about today's webinar and having Harry Brelsford and Josh to be our moderators. Before we get started, I'd like to touch base on a couple housekeeping items. First of all, we encourage everybody to ask questions using the questions feature within the webinar system. And also want to let everybody know that today's webinar is being recorded, and I will be sure to send out the link so that you guys can all replay it. With that, I'd like to introduce Harry Brelsford to get us underway.
All right. Well, thank you, Jenny Hallmark, as always. Hello, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. It's mid-morning out here on the West Coast. My 7th cup of coffee. And, hey, Josh, I'll be seeing you later. I'll introduce you in a minute. But now that I think about it, I'll be seeing you later at the D&H show down here in California. I'm here for the D&H West Coast show that starts later today. So hopefully we'll see some of you there, and we can even talk about the SMB 150. But with that said, I'm fired up. I'm fired up that it's been yet another year. It's the 3rd annual SMB 150 contest, and let's get started. So with that said, we have my colleague in crime, Josh, and from SMBTN. Josh, say hello, maybe introduce yourself real quick. What do you do by day and what do you do by night?
Hi, I'm Josh with the SMBTN. Many of you know we're a trade organization, so we're trying to help resellers and consultants grow their businesses. And then I'm also a VAR, like all of you, running Axon Tech during the day, essentially.
Excellent, excellent. Down here in the Southern California area. For those I haven't met, again, my name is Harry Brelsford, the founder of SMB Nation. So we're gonna, it's a very simple conversation today. We're gonna talk about why, what, how, who, and when. So let's get started. But before we do, I want to take just a moment to, we lost Jeremiah. He was a sales business development rep at SMB Nation. And many of you have followed the story of Jeremiah and his battle with cancer. And unfortunately, we lost him on February 19th. So quite frankly, we've almost come full circle. It's almost been a month, and trust me, we miss him every single day. Jeremiah is pictured right next to Josh in the upper right photo. Jeremiah is tall. The tall guy, and I'd just like everybody to, you know what, and Josh, I know your group has been very generous as well, but folks, even if you can go to their site and give $5, Brooke, his wife has expenses, and they could use $5, they could use $500. We've had some SMB 150 individuals donate $1,000 a piece, so really appreciate you thinking about Jeremiah today. Why? Well, here's the deal. A few years ago, Jim Locke, who was one of the founders of SMBTN, came up to our location over on Bainbridge Island and decided to share an idea. Came up to SMB Nation, share an idea that he wanted to have a contest. And we're a media integration and events company. SMBTN is a trade association and a community, and it just all made sense. The SMB Technology Network. So we teamed up. You can watch on this link Jim Locke, who unfortunately we lost Jim. Josh, has it been 2 years? I want to be careful here. Was it 2 years ago we lost Jim, or was it just over a year ago, sir?
Roughly 2 years at this point, Harry.
Okay. And again, we miss Jim every day. Here he's being awarded the SBSer of the Year award. I believe this was in 2009 at the Riviera, the fall conference at the Riviera in Las Vegas, if I remember correctly. So that award, by the way, the SBSer of the Year award, has been renamed the Jim Locke Memorial Award, and we give it away every year at the fall conference. That's why we're doing what we do. So what is it? It's the 3rd annual contest. What we attempted to do, and Josh, once I get past the clown picture, I'd love to hear your opinion as well. I'll offer up what I know to be true. We want to recognize true SMB partners who are influencers. I like to say the people who are doing the work day by day. Many are known on this list. Many are unknown. I think that's pretty cool. what we've done is craft a contest after looking over the industry, a contest that's fair. We're going to talk about the methodology in just a minute, but it's not based on company size. It's not based on a revenue ranking. It's not based on a subjective opinion. So there's no one person making this list. And folks, quite frankly, the intention is to have fun and not take yourself too seriously. So we have we bumped into a clown earlier and thought that would be an appropriate way to maybe convey the sentiment. Josh, what do you know to be true on our intentions for this contest?
Well, basically, we want to award those people that are engaged in the community, that are doing the blogs, that are at the conferences, helping out, talking to other partners, trying to help. Definitely the user groups. The user groups are I think critical. I think really an important part of this community. So those are the people that we're trying to give this award to. Those people that otherwise would go unnoticed. To your point. I think that it's important that we award those people for what they're offering to the community.
Absolutely, and what I've liked about the partnership that we have is I really think we're an open and affirming community, and we want to be inclusive of people from all walks of life. And you know what, Josh? There's plenty. Well, I don't know if I'd say plenty, but there's a few different industry awards, and they're all slightly different, and that's cool. That's cool that there's a very large distributor that has a revenue ranking, and that's completely valid because what do you have over in the private sector? Well, you have the Fortune 1000. It's a revenue ranking, right? It's completely valid. So we just wanted to have a little fun. What I would add, if it actually gets us over into our methodology, and we're not going to get too deep into the weeds on this. I'll let Josh briefly talk about the math, but what I would tell you is that we wanted to have published methodology, a stated methodology. We adhered to the methodology. And again, slap me silly, but I also wanted to have fun. Now, with that said, Josh, maybe at a pretty high level and quickly, because I know people want to see the list, but maybe you want to comment on the voting process.
Sure. Well, the main key is the judges get 60% of the vote weighted, essentially. So we have a judging panel. There are 5 judges. These are esteemed industry peers, and those judges vote on each company. The other 40% is the community vote, and those are people going to the site, people asking for Facebook votes and peers voting for them. So at the end of the day, we aggregate the 2 of those to get the final ranking, and that's how we're able to determine the 150. So I think it's a really fair way of doing it, and again, it's peers, esteemed judges that really are weighting that 60% to give this the respect that this award should have, essentially.
That's right. That's right. It's sort of a best-of-breed approach. And again, I don't have my own biases in terms of the individual. I was a judge, and I'm proud to know many of the people who won the award. I was able to study some people I didn't know quite as well and understand that they are worthy of a fantastic ranking or vote. But back on the community vote, we get fired up back home helping this elementary school in Bremerton, Washington, with banners and stuff where, quite frankly, it's one of the large PC manufacturers, and if you win the national contest, you get a technology makeover for your school. And it's one of these where you vote, and it's fun, and it's really cool. Unfortunately, Josh, a very large school in LA did beat the small school in Bremerton. I get that. With that said, who were we talking about? And we'll take a moment to talk about some of these people. We are talking and releasing today, or revealing today, the SMB 150's winners. Here's the best way to access that is you're going to go to our Facebook fan page. And the easiest way to do that, you can certainly search for us on Facebook, but you can go to www.smb150.com and click through and like the Facebook fan page. And one of the reasons you want to do this is we have a sponsor, a community sponsor that stepped up. We'll talk more about them over the next couple of weeks, but we have a community sponsor that stepped up, BlackBerry, for the second year in a row, because they really believe in community building and outreach efforts such as this. And they've done another contest over on the customer-facing side for the Small Business Influencers by Ramon Ray. And they are, Josh, they are giving away some prizes. So what occurs is there'll be a drawing for a handful of the new BlackBerry Z10 mobile devices. It's so powerful, it doesn't do it justice to call it a phone. It's really a mobile device. And go ahead and like our page, and you'll be entered into the contest. And this is irrespective of you being, an award winner or candidate. We're going to talk about that. But Josh, let's just take a moment to maybe do a couple of shout-outs for some of the people on the list. If you don't mind, I'll go first. I'm looking over a partial list, by the way. It would have been kind of wackadoo to try and fit the 150 names on a screen, or Josh, I would have had 15 screens of 10, or and that's not.
A few more slides.
Yeah, and we're not going to take up people's valuable time going name by name. It's not a graduation ceremony yet. So just a couple of shout-outs that stand out to me. Alan Helbush out of the Bay Area is a founder of the San Francisco SBS user group, now SMB IT Pro group, has been to every single SMB nation since Indianapolis. You got Aaron Booker, who's the founder of Harrybbb. Is he telling the good story in the community? Absolutely. You have Alan Weinberger, the founder of ASCII Group, ditto. Alex Rogers, very successful with this hardware as a service paradigm up at SharTech. Amy Babinchak with Third Tier, very respected MVP. Amy Luby, who longtime community member. Handy Andy Goodman. I'll name one or two more, and then Josh, I'll let you do a couple of shout-outs. Arlen Sorensen. Seriously, no list would be complete of the SMB 150 influencers that Arlen, who is the founder of the HTG peer groups, and he has really made a difference in a lot of resellers' lives. Absolutely. So a shout out to Arlen. And let me take one more. There's my main man, Jeremiah, up on the upper right, who, again, we lost just under a month ago, but he certainly was quite active in the community. So Josh, give us your best shot with a couple of shout-outs.
Sure. I mean, one thing I would say is we definitely have all kinds of quality if you look over the 150 in general. I'll point out just a few here. Bob Nitrio, he's running the user group with Carl, and last year he barely didn't make the list, but this year he has, and I think that's one of those unsung heroes. So I'm happy to see that kind of name on the list. Jessica DeVita, she's doing a great thing in LA. She's an up-and-comer, definitely in this community, so that's a good one to see there. You see guys like Mark Kroll, also actually Ken Edwards is another one. These guys have been around for a long time, but I think in general I'm really pleased with the quality that we have on this list in the SMB 150 this year. I think it's really representative of this community.
Exactly. One more that stands out is Carlos, lower left, second name up from lower left. Carlos from Brazil notified me the other day. He's already bought his airline ticket to come up to the awards ceremony, which I'll get to on the next page. But he's very active down in Latin America and very deserving. This was an international contest. And Josh, I totally agree that the system works. The system works, that we got a list that is really calling out a lot of people who deserve the recognition and quite frankly don't always get it. So moving on, when? Well, this is really cool. Yet again, sponsored by BlackBerry. And there's the Z10 over on the right. We have the SMB 150 Awards Dinner. It's May 4th. I have a funny suspicion there may be a little Cinco de Mayo theme woven into all this, but that's only a hunch. May 4th at Microsoft Redmond, that's a Saturday night. It's part of our 7th annual SMB Nation Spring Conference. And the SMB 150 winners receive a complimentary pass to this 3-day professional conference. They, of course, receive a complimentary pass to attend the awards dinner. We have photos up on the Facebook page and the SMB 150 page and so on of what that looks like for the group photo and then the individual photos. And you get a complimentary BlackBerry Z10 mobile device at the event. So again, how cool is that? Josh, in my capacity in the media, just got notification I will be receiving my 30-day test unit tomorrow, Friday. So I'm pretty psyched to go 30 days with the BlackBerry Z10, and who knows? Who knows? I may go 365 days with it, but Josh, I got a small problem. My son Harry Jr. has got his eye on it. And we're going to have a little chit chat, but maybe that's the way it should be. That you should have a 14-year-old really test a mobile device if you really want to see how it holds up. All SMB 150 nominees, over 600, receive a deeply discounted price of $199 to attend the spring conference, and the code for that at spring.smbnation.com is the 150 nominee. We'll be in touch, of course, individually with the SMB 150 winners. Josh, I'll actually be calling each one, so I'm pretty excited. We just wanted to make sure we waited until we revealed the list so that people know who that is. But bottom line, you guys, with the awards dinner, it's great. Yes, it's a photo op. Yes, it's a chance to be recognized in the industry. Yes, it's fun. But you know what, Josh? More importantly, it really is like a huge peer group. It's getting together and just collaborating with like-minded professionals who are accomplished. And guess what? This year we've tied it to a 3-day conference at Microsoft Redmond. So it's an extended visit. And Josh, any thoughts? I mean, last year we had the awards dinner down here in LA. What are some of your memories from that evening?
I think it was a great event, Harry, and you know, there's a lot of communication, talking to your peers, meeting new people, as a matter of fact, in the industry that you can network with. I mean, in LA, there are a lot of partners that do business back and forth, and I'm sure you see that at all of the user groups and conferences that you put on as well. And also, Harry, with that Cinco de Mayo theme, you did promise to wear that sombrero that's as wide as you are tall, so I'm looking forward to seeing that as well. At the
well, okay, but I'll see you and raise you too. You need to bring some of the good stuff. You need to bring some of the good tequila, the smooth tequila that LA can get. Being so close to the proximity down to Mexico, that go ahead and bring that up for the event. But folks, you know, here's how I look at it, and it's really, there's no wrong answer, and it's a philosophy. But let me tell you, my philosophy in life goes, like so many of us, high school sports or sports in general. And maybe we rely too much on sports metaphors in general, but here's the point. When I was Nordic racing back in Anchorage, you know, Josh, Anchorage is a hotbed for Nordic skiing. I mean, it's half the U.S. team comes from that town, and I was middle of the pack at best. You know, I think I once got a 15th in a race result, and I was pretty happy. I hung out with the guy that went on to the U.S. team, a guy named Brett Bodner. He used to win the races by like 6 minutes. He had already changed clothes by the time number 2 came through, and deservedly went on to the U.S. team. And I partied with Brett. I'm partying with him. Other people, Josh, and this is where I see it in all walks of life, other people had like this resentment against Brett, right? I don't know if it's jealousy or lack of self-confidence or a low self-esteem, but they didn't like him, and he was a great guy. And I'm like, man, I'm hanging with him. I'm hanging with the guy that wins the race, and you know, the rest of you are welcome to join me, but that's how I'm going to get better. And that's what I see, not only the affiliation and association and credibility of being on the SMB 150 list, but also your attendance at number one, the SMB Awards Dinner, is either a member of the public, an award winner yourself, or a nominee, and then number two, attendance for 3 days at the event. Josh, does that make sense, or am I just kind of resting on my laurels and the fish story of high school?
No, I think it makes total sense, Harry. I mean, one of the things that all the latest business books say is you can't be afraid of success, and a lot of people have that fear, and I think you need to overcome that, get out of your shell a little bit, push that comfort envelope, get to these events. I mean, this is what it's all about. I mean, let's face it. I know a lot of partners that don't attend many meetings. Maybe they'll show up once in a while. And, generally it's the people that are attending month after month. I see them at different events. I may see them at SMB Nation. I may see them at ASCII. I may see them at a lot of events. Those are the guys that are successful. I mean, it shows in their numbers. It shows through. So I think you have to be involved to be a success, and don't fear that.
No, that's right. That's right. And by the way, you're a great example of that. That years ago you raised your hand with a handful of others down here in Southern California and said, "We are SMBTN," and the community has embraced you. And I would add that we appreciate your longevity. I mean, my goodness, SMBTN. Josh, is it 10 years? Is it 8 years? I mean,
I think it's about 8 years right now. Yeah, so we've been around for a while. In computer years, it's like dog years, right? So
yeah,
a long time.
You've been through 2 generations of technology, literally. And by the way, the Z10 is an entirely new generation of technology. What you're getting a glance of there is essentially the balance mode. And that's a whole other webinar about work-life balance. But the Z10 has what they call balance. It has your life mode, which, let's just say, for the sake of argument, on my left hand, that's going to be my iPhone 5. And it has your work mode. And again, for the sake of argument, that's going to be either the traditional BlackBerry paradigm that we love and embraced for many, many years, or an Android-type environment. And so that's something I'm really looking forward to keying in on in particular. So you know what? Maybe that underscores and is the final word on the awards ceremony, the 3-day spring conference coming up, that it's definitely a work-life balance. We're going to have fun. We're going to zero in on the topics of the day, and we're going to do it all at Microsoft Redmond. Now, folks, please use the chat feature if you have some questions. I suspect we have a couple. I'm going to check my email real quick to see if we have rolling in, but Jennifer Hallmark is over in the radio control room and ready, able, and willing to accept any and all questions you have. Please go ahead and do that now, and I'll peek down on my phone and see if I've had any roll in. Jenny, do we have some questions rolling in?
We do have a couple. Not sure if we can answer this one or not, Harry, but we've got people asking if the Z10 will work in Canada.
Yes.
All right, that's funny.
That's pretty good. That's great. Chris, I didn't know. My goodness gracious, mercy me. Is that Chris Banks down in Vero Beach, Florida?
You haven't heard me keep my mouth shut this long, huh?
Chris, you're not feeling good. I knew you've been working hard, but I didn't know you weren't feeling very good.
No, I feel great, Harry.
Well, I'll tell you what, Chris, you're working very, very closely with BlackBerry, and today I definitely wanted to honor and recognize BlackBerry, but also stay true to the community and kind of keep the focus on the SMB 150 list itself. But since you're here, let's take a few moments, and why don't you just articulate BlackBerry's commitment to the community, the event, and what's ahead, because it's really cool
Sure.
what they've done.
Sure.
Please.
Well, I tell you, first of all, I want to say that Jenny may not know it. She got hoodwinked on that one, but BlackBerry's based in Canada, and the Z10 came out there first under beta and then under retail release.
That's right.
So it definitely works there. But yeah, BlackBerry's been very committed to the channel. We're not the only way or even award ceremony where they've reached out to prove that small business is big business to them. And they've gone through good times and bad in the last few years, and they've always
Amen,
been
brother.
very
Yep.
yeah, very, very generous with SMB Nation and expressing their love and their concern for their image in the community. And they're sponsoring this event for the second year. They missed out on the first, but they were interested, and they plan on doing it for the foreseeable future. And I can't tell you a lot, but I can tell you in our NDA meetings, they plan on getting very, very aggressive and very interconnected with the community and build out their BlackBerry 2.0 world, or I guess it'd be 4.0 by now, based around resellers and community. At least that's what they're saying. And they've gotten away from RIM, and they're now BlackBerry. And I'm pretty excited about it. I wish I could tell you more, but I can tell you they are committed to SMBTN and SMB Nation, and have been even through the downtimes.
Well, Chris, I got good news for you. You can tell them more, and it's going to be next Thursday, our webinar next week, concerning the BlackBerry product. A little bit more technical lecture, a little bit different purpose for gathering than today. But the good news, folks, is rejoin us next week, and in fact, we can tell you a whole lot more. So, thank you, Chris. Ginny, do we have any more?
Couple of things. Wait, couple things before we hand off that I'm pretty excited about. I do want to let you know at the show, I don't know the exact numbers, and this is just a little super inside information for you guys that showed up today. During the BlackBerry keynote, they're going to have a stack of Z10s that they're awarding for a Q&A session at the end. You answer a question, you get a Z10, and these devices retail. You know, you get a 2-year agreement, you could probably get it for $99, but they retail for about $700, and I think they'll have at least 10 there. Then they're bringing some to the booth to raffle off as well. So they're being very, very generous in that regard. But the two things I wanted to tell you about, if you go like and share the Facebook page, go like and share the SMB 150 Facebook page. It doesn't matter that you're a winner. It doesn't matter that you got one in the keynote and you picked up one at the booth and you won one at the SMB 150. You still go into a raffle of 1 of 5 Z10s. So all you got to do is like and share the Facebook Top 150 website. Okay? And if you want to like and share the list instead of the general site, that's fine too. Just like and share it, and you'll go into that drawing. The other thing is we got the 12 days of Christmas. We've got the 12 months of BlackBerry. So
yes,
every month in our newsletters, we're going to have a code that you can take that code. It hasn't started yet. I don't know which newsletter will launch it. We'll announce it. But you take that code, you go put it into our website, and then you'll enter in for a BlackBerry every single month. We're giving away a BlackBerry to the community, a Z10, all the way until Christmas.
Excuse me. Excellent, Chris. Good Lord, I need a cough drop. Jenny, any more questions coming up while I quickly pop a cough drop, and we'll answer the questions, and then I have 1 or 2 myself.
We do have a couple more. So does every SMB 150 winner get a BlackBerry Z10? And if so, do they have to attend the conference to accept it?
Chris Bangs, go ahead and take that one,
okay.
sir.
So everybody does get a Z10. If you won the BlackBerry 150, you are going to get a Z10. If you do not attend, then we will ask you to pay the shipping and handling for us to put those into your hands. The reason we're doing that this year is because of sending stuff out to Germany and Australia, and I got to tell you something. It was a big number when we were done.
Well, Chris, I'll help you out there. Yeah, I'll help you out there. The fact is that's how we negotiated the deal, folks. Is BlackBerry wasn't able to engage as early as they would have liked in the SMB 150 contest, and that's because the launch of the product was January 30th. Okay, so they not only were they busy, but they didn't know what their budgets were, and they were focused on launch. And so then they could make decisions on what their participation in the community is. And the trade-off is this: the way we were able to get the 150 units for the winners was to then not add on the shipping and handling. Because if we had done that, I mean, Chris, I'll just pick a number. It may have only been 100 units, right? We would have randomly drawn 100 units for the 150. So we made the strategic decision that, first of all, we're going to reward you if you show up and participate at the awards dinner. Just do it and meet Microsoft managers. It's fantastic. But second of all, we think we found, well, what do you know, my favorite word of the day, we found balance. In order to make everybody receive the prize and get it to them. So with that said, Jenny, next question, please.
Will the list be posted on smb150.com, and where else can they find it?
Chris or Josh, who'd like to take that one?
Yep.
I'm sorry,
So
I couldn't quite hear that
if
question.
I could take it first, and then I'll hand it over to Josh. So the SMB Top 150 list is currently available on the Facebook page. And if you go to the Facebook page and look at timelines, it's right there and on the March 8th timeline. We're going to make that front and center. We were holding it there for this webinar because there was an embargo on promoting the list until today. I also believe that Josh can put it somewhere on the SMB 150 page now, as long as we let people know about liking and sharing. I just want to make sure that everybody has a chance at the raffle and gets to like and share. But yeah, it'll be in both places. Josh,
Absolutely.
does that sound correct?
Yeah, Josh?
Well, right now the SMB 150 is linking to the Facebook page. So yeah, I think if you go to the SMB 150, click on that link, and then you'll see the list right there once they land on the SMB 150 Facebook page.
Absolutely.
Now, if you don't have a Facebook page and you can't see it, you can go to facebook.com.
Yep.
I mean, Facebook account. Let me know and I'll email it to you.
Okay. All right. And that's
for the 6 people that don't have a Facebook page.
That's Chris B at smbnation.com. Hey, Jenny, let's keep this party moving. Next question, please.
Is there a hotel package within walking distance to the seminar?
Jenny, why don't we have you answer? That's
Sure.
a Jenny question.
So if you log on to spring.smbnation.com, we have worked with the Marriott Residence Inn right there in Redmond to offer great hotel package rates for the duration of the conference. And we also, since there isn't a hotel within walking distance of the Microsoft Conference Center, we will be providing shuttles to and from the hotel. And you can get the shuttle schedule on spring.smbnation.com. But we also encourage you to attend the conference as well. So the next
go ahead, Jenny.
is, Harry, will there be a press release template we can use to promote the SMB 150 winners and SMB Nation?
Good idea.
Yeah, and I'm sorry. Could you repeat that, Jenny? I'm sorry, my headset went wackadoo for just a second.
No problem.
Please repeat.
Will there be a press release template we can use to promote the SMB 150 winners and SMB Nation?
Absolutely. So here's, I can speak to that. We had our 7:30 Pacific editorial meeting today with our editor, Regina, and our assistant, Heather, and that's actually being finalized. So there is a template for that will go out, if not today, let's say by end of week would be my expectation, to the winners. It'll have artwork, and it will have the press release template that you can use. And we absolutely do want the winners to capitalize on their achievement. I mean, guys, that's how the game is played. I mean, first of all, this is an earned award. Let's start with that. This is no doctoral letters given to some famous speaker at a graduation ceremony. We're not talking about that at all. This is an earned award. And because it's an earned award, you absolutely should be capitalizing on it in your local community as you, quite frankly, engage in business development. So Regina, who is also a PR professional, is doing exactly that.
Harry, that's all. Oh, go ahead, Chris.
I would like to mention that that there is actually an L in the SMB Nation. I mean, in the SMB Top 150 badge, and I'm sorry about that, Harry.
Oh, well. Hopefully hopefully you weren't under the influence when you were creating the influencer badge.
The influence. I have to go get my influenza shot.
No,
the correct badges.
Okay.
The correct badges have been sent over to Heather yesterday.
Okay.
Regina caught that. Our editor caught it, and I remade them. And I'll have one up in about 10 minutes on my Facebook page for anybody that needs a quick fix.
Perfect. And that's actually a my bag, Chris, because as I was creating the deck, I went with your email from several days ago. So we'll just make sure that doesn't happen again, or else I'm...
Oh, I hear Jay Weiss is...
Exactly.
Jay Weiss is here.
So, needless to say, it won't happen again. Boy, we feel like an old-timey radio show. Jenny, do we have any more questions, please?
Questions I have at this time.
Okay, cool. Question that I had related to additional publicity, and let me tell you what's going to occur there, folks, is part of the SMB 150 process does result in additional media opportunities, and that can kind of come in the form of a couple of different ways. First of all, I want to make myself available to you, an SMB 150 winner, if you do get a local interview with your weekly business paper or the daily paper, and I would really encourage you to capitalize on this. I don't like the word exploit, but I would say capitalize on this opportunity. I'll make myself available as I can. If you get a press interview and I can pop in and offer a couple of pull quotes or call into the conference line and make a couple of quotes that are unique and highlight your accomplishment. You're also going to be featured in the SMB 150 article under Business Speak that I'm currently finishing up with Regina for the SMB Nation magazine. That'll be out electronically late next week. And then the other benefits will include the tweets and the Facebook page and the sharing that you can do yourself of our Facebook page to draw attention to your accomplishment, as well as the blogs that we've done and will continue to do. And again, I'm looking to you as a leader to raise your hand and contact me. Call into our main number, 888-SMB-NAT1. That's 888-SMB-NAT1. Call into extension 103. And let me know how I can help you, because I'm fired up. This is one of my favorite times of the year. I mean, the daylight savings time has changed. I'm back on my bicycle. It's getting sunny and bright and warm, and it's SMB 150 time. So it just doesn't get much better than this. Let's get a couple closing comments to wrap it up if we don't have any more questions. So Josh, final thoughts, sir.
Oh yeah, I'm thrilled with this list. Again, I really love the quality that we were able to achieve this year. So I think that the community is really embracing it, and I hope to see many of you at the event.
Excellent. Chris, final thoughts, sir.
You know, all I can do is really parrot what you guys have said. This is fantastic. I love that we're combining the event with the spring show. I think it's going to add an extra element of excitement. It's always great to network with all my friends, especially in the Microsoft Redmond campus environment. And I'm just really looking forward to it. And again, I'm so excited about BlackBerry's giveaway. Very, very generous. I'll share a little inside information. They have to buy those things from themselves. So their marketing department has flipped the full retail bill to put these at that show, and that's a beautiful thing, and I'm very grateful.
Well, and I just want
thanks to SMBTN for making this exist in the very first place. Because without that first idea, none of this would be happening.
That's right. SMB 150 is a trademark of SMBTN. Read the fine print. But once again, everybody, I'm going to take us out. We're going to hear from Mastro here as I take us out. So thank you for joining us, and have a great day. Goodbye.